Okay, let's go.
Well, hi, friends of the Coachella Valley. Jose here from the New Mindset. I'm accompanied with...
Stephanie Moreira, the editor-in-chief.
And man, we have quite a person here today. We're going to let her introduce herself. Tell us your name and what you do.
I'm Danielle Guerrero. I own and operate brush hour paint classes, so I teach painting.
Awesome. There you go. I've been talking about having a painter here in the class.
Yes.
In the class.
In the class.
Here in the podcast.
Yeah.
Danielle, what a fantastic story you have. I was going over some notes that Stef was telling me, but why don't you tell us a bit about your past? Where did you grow up? Are you originally from the Coachella Valley? Did you come here?
No, so originally I am from Covina, California, so it's like an hour and a half from the desert, not too far. When I got married, that's when I moved out here. So I grew up out there. It was great. I have two amazing parents. I have a younger brother.
Okay.
Grew up really close-knit.
So you're the firstborn?
I'm the firstborn.
Shout out to the firstborns again. Let's go.
We're the best. Just kidding.
Yeah, there you go. You know, we're starting these family rivalries, I guess. I don't know.
We're millennials here.
Yeah.
I'm like on the cusp though, which is annoying.
Oh.
I'm 97.
Okay.
So I'm like almost millennial,
Almost
almost Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I'm like right in
You know,
between.
Jose, he's older.
I'm 89. I'm
Yeah,
89.
I'm
Yeah.
93.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, there you go, listeners. Now you know.
Everybody's ages.
And so you have a younger sibling, no older sibling, so you're the oldest one.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just the two of you guys? Mm-hmm. And did you grow up kind of together, or you like have a difference in age?
We're 3 years apart. Not too bad.
Okay. So you guys went to high school together, like elementary school. How was that like?
It was good. Yeah, we had a great childhood. We always kind of had different interests, so we were kind of always kind of doing our own thing, but our family is really close and a lot of family vacations, things like that. So it was great.
Fun.
Yeah.
Were you always inclined in the arts?
I was, yeah. It's funny, at my classes all the time, people are like, how long have you been doing this for? How did you get into it? And my mom and dad say ever since day one, I always had like a crayon in my hand. Like I was always doing something.
Oh, so you were always an artist as a young child?
Yeah.
Yeah, those walls must have seen some beautiful art. A lot of Picassos.
Yeah, lots of scribbling, lots of crafting. My parents would even have like little parties where friends of mine would come together and we would do like little
Oh, how
painting
cute.
projects. Yeah, so they always knew that
that's
was
awesome.
something I was into. Yeah.
So people were having these, what are those parties where you get the kids kind of sick?
Sick?
You know, where you gotta let them get like certain, like all the kids get sick at the same time. And
Oh.
I don't know if they still happen. I know it used to be a thing. We could scratch that.
You're saying like if all the kids get together, there's one child that
always
infects
gets-
everybody.
yes,
and
yes,
they all
yes.
get sick. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the thing is, maybe I am older. Back in the 90s, there were parties for kids getting, like, not muscle, what are the ones? Chickenpox.
Chickenpox.
Chickenpox parties, you know,
Yeah,
like,
the super spreader
like just so
chickenpox.
like if one of them gets it, the other ones get it,
Yeah.
and then they'll heal at the same time. So it's kind of like a thing that people used to do.
I know I'm Chilean, so my mother did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she did that to me. And I'm like, why would you do that? She's like, well, because everybody was doing it. It's a 90s thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Just
guess
expose
so.
you.
Yeah,
Makes you
yeah.
stronger.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, so instead of those, you had the more live ones. So you had parties where you would draw an art. But where did Danielle pick this up and actually made it a thing? Did that click for you like as a child? Were you like in middle school? Were you like in high school? And you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this.
Well, as a kid, like I mentioned, I was always into it. So my parents were actually awesome enough to take me to these art classes in a nearby city, Glendora. It was called Kids Art. Shout out to them. I don't know if they're still a thing, but they were great. They just had this cute little setup. There was like these books that you would choose your project, and like you would like move up each level each time you did a project.
And was that like a after school program?
Yeah, it was after school. Totally elective. And shout out to my parents too, because I don't think it was cheap. Like I don't know what it cost, but I don't think it was cheap.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you got to try like all sorts of mediums though, like charcoal, pastel, painting, drawing. Like every single time you had a different stage, and that's where I think I gained a lot of foundation because YouTube, things like that weren't really like around back then.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah.
but I think for the good, because I think it's like it was really hands-on, and there was always an instructor that like would guide you and give you critique and guide you along the way. So that was really fundamental in me gaining that interest.
And talking about the arts and when you're a child, I think that's so important for a kid to expand his or her creativity.
Definitely, yeah, because those different things, like I'm a very like comfort zone person.
Oh,
like
okay.
once I'm like with the painting, like I'm comfortable with paint.
Yeah.
I've tried the other mediums, but that's not my favorite. But I am glad I've tried them because then I know. But if you're especially, I think most families, you can't just be spending endless money on craft supplies. If you go to Michael's or something, you kind of stick with what you know. But an environment like that allowed me to tap into different stuff that I probably wouldn't have. So.
And were you able to continue that from middle school and high school?
In middle school, we didn't have any art programs, I don't believe, but in high school, there was a couple of art classes that you take as part of your credits and stuff, which I really enjoyed. I was saying when we talked earlier, I was really excited because I would see the grades above me come with these projects and they're amazing. And then when I got into the art classes, unfortunately, my class was large, so we got split. So I couldn't get the art teacher. I had the ceramics teacher, bless her heart, but she's not an art teacher. She's a ceramics teacher. So the experience was not the same.
Right. Yeah.
And so I had a couple of my best friends were in the actual art class and they'd be like, look at what I did, look at me. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. I was feeling so gypped.
Look at my little ceramic. It's great.
But then the next year I was able to go into her class and she was an amazing teacher. She just knew her stuff, was able to teach, and because some people are good teachers but can't do, some people could do but can't teach, and she was good at both. So
I love it. I love it when schools do that. She's ceramics, but she's going to teach art. Yeah.
You know, I shout out to the to be honest with you, because it sounds like you were driven by a certain knowledge when you were younger of wanting to be better, and so that encouraged you to not just be discouraged, but actually pursue being with that teacher that following year. That speaks volumes of a person. Some people kind of go into it and then they don't get what they want and then they just kind of quit. And it's normal, right? I think it's fair. If you're not into it, you're not into it. But knowing that you wanted to pursue it and actually went for it and tried it, even though it wasn't what you wanted, like that speaks volumes of you. That's fantastic.
I think I tried to switch the class.
Well, there you go.
But
never mind. I'll take all that back. Danielle,
so
what about your college life? Did you go to college for this?
Did
you? Okay, where'd you go?
I went to Mount Sac. It's a community college.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
I love Mount Sac. Shout out to Mount Sac.
Yeah, I went for a couple years. I got my associates. That's actually a big part of, I think, of how, not Mount Sac itself, but like I think that was the biggest pressure, obviously, when you're in high school. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
That's true.
And I always deep down knew I wanted to do something creative, but nobody's just gonna be an artist. You know, the saying like not a poor artist. What's this expression? You're a there's an expression for it. Hungry artist. I don't know.
Starving artist.
There you go. Yeah, like you could be so talented, but you just may not make it because you need the right audience. And so like doing that route was just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so there was other routes. I actually started going to Mount Sac for graphic design, and then I was like, I don't know why I wasn't feeling it. So then I switched, and I was just trying to get in and out of there. So I was like, okay, with these credits that I already did, what can I transfer to this? So I ended up leaving with a general business degree.
Okay. Hey, that's.
But I can manage you in business. That's what I'm
there you go.
Hey,
business is important.
But I always knew I wanted to do something creative. So, then after I finished, I was just kind of doing Starbucks for a bit. And then when I moved to the desert, I got a job at a doctor's office. I was doing reception. I just stopped working there about a month ago. So I was there for 4 years.
Wow.
But I knew I wanted something more. Like, I just knew, like, it was cool. I also feel like I have part of my personality that's, like, organized and, like, I don't mind numbers. I don't mind being on a computer. But on my time off, it's always, like, I had that itch. Like, I have to do something else. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's it, right? That also goes back to speaking volumes of who you got to be true to yourself and your strengths and on what you want to do. I mean, that's awesome. Congratulations for finding something you were really into.
Thank you.
So when did you start the painting company? How did that come about?
So during COVID, like most people, I had a lot of time on my hands.
I love that.
Yeah, I was laid off for a couple months, and so it actually was amazing because if I didn't have that, I don't think I'd be where I was today. I think like a lot of people, like it unlocked these ideas that they had, and so I was just spending a lot of time on my own time, just doing my own projects, and then one thing led to another, and I was bored like everybody else, and it was a joke. Like I texted a group of family and friends. I'm like, does anybody want to paint with me over Zoom? Like I'll instruct a class.
So cute.
I was like, I even created like these little kits. I had like the little paint in these little like the little condiment jars with the lids. And then I dropped it off at everybody's houses.
Oh, that's cute.
And then from that one party, like then one person was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do this with my family. And then they threw a party. And then somebody in that group was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do this with my family. And then it just dominated.
Oh, your network just dominoed. Yeah.
And
Wow.
because it was over Zoom, the beauty of that is that I was doing it with people from all over the place. I had a lot of parties on the East Coast. I even did Hawaii. Like the reach of people was fantastic. Yeah, so that really dominoed it. And
so that ignited a new path.
Definitely, yeah. And during COVID, I was literally doing it like every single weekend. Sometimes like 3 days of the weekend. It was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was insane. In the moment, I didn't realize how amazing it was because I was just like going through the motions, and I'm looking back and I'm like, that was crazy.
Yeah, that I mean, oh my gosh, and it was only like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that was only 3 years
literally
ago.
2020. That's insane. It really, we all went through some. It's glad that in the middle of all that and the way people respond to it, some people responded to it not so positively, some didn't.
Right.
But I'm glad to hear that in the past few interviews we've had people tell us something similar. It started with the COVID era and it grew into this kind of, some people thought, the last person we talked to said, oh, I thought it was just a fantasy of mine. And I started doing it and I realized, oh wow, I can do this.
Yeah.
So like they took that extra step. And that's fantastic. I mean, something good came out of it after all.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
I guess so. Well, guys, let's cut to the first commercial. When we come back, we're going to catch up to what Danielle is doing today. Let's go. The new mindset of the Coachella Valley is brought to you by BuzzBox. Here we have Stef, our new editor-in-chief, to give us a bit more info on them. So what can you tell us about it?
You know what's great about BuzzBox? Let me tell you. It's eco-friendly, has natural ingredient-infused cocktails, and the packaging is vacuum sealed to lock in all its natural ingredients. It's gluten-free, it's kosher. Yes, BuzzBox premium cocktails are meany and mighty. And now we're back.
Okay, so Danielle, you are today you hold your own classes, art classes. The reason I reached out to you, shout out to Joe from Baracco. So we walked in. We love going there to have some coffee.
Yes.
We walked in with our pup, little Bruce.
Yes.
And
Cute.
and so, you know, I wanted to kind of chat with them about what's coming up for you. And he said, oh, there's this art class. And she's fantastic. And X, Y, and Z. So then I started researching you. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we
great.
saw the video for Morocco and I thought that was so cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
Everybody was lined up with their canvas and everybody was like different ages too.
That's fantastic.
Definitely.
So how'd you get the idea to do that?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, like I was saying earlier with the whole COVID thing, obviously we started to leave COVID. So it was like transitioning like, well, nobody really wants to do anything on Zoom anymore. Everybody's burnt out on Zoom. So how can I continue doing this? So again, shout out to my lovely family and friends. Everybody has supported me from the beginning. It's always been those people that have started like, well, let's do it in person now. Like, let me throw you a party. So I had a couple family members threw me parties and same thing. It kind of, you know, snowballed from there, doing private events at people's homes. But I now have been trying to collaborate with other businesses such as Baracco. I have a paint party coming up next week with Booze Hounds in Palm Springs.
Okay.
Just because I know not everybody has the means to maybe throw a party at their home, but they want to try it out. They still want to experience painting. So it's really great to do it at public venues like that. But my goal is still to do more private events, just because that's more regular and consistent. It's more intimate at public classes. I know sometimes people get like a little bit of like anxiety, like, oh, who am I going to sit next to? You know, you don't know everybody, but everybody amazes themselves. Like everybody has a great time together. You make friends with who you're sitting with at the table. Everybody's sharing an experience. Like everybody doesn't know what they're doing when they sit down, and then they all leave with a completed, beautiful project.
That's awesome.
So it's a really cool experience.
Wow. Do you think that you got there on the pure fact that you needed to do it, or that feeling of wanting to do it pushed you even further?
That's a good question. I think wanting, because honestly, my husband's amazing. He has his own business. He's definitely our breadwinner. I've always been kind of like this little supplement.
Okay. Oh no.
So no, but like in a good way. Like that's a blessing for me. Like if I like we both don't have to grind. So he's But so it's allowed me the time to push this desire.
Right.
Like if I really had to grind on another level, I probably wouldn't have chose this path. So shout out to him. He's a big
of
support.
course, absolutely.
But yeah, so I think it's more of a want. But now it's becoming a need because now I've quit my job.
Right.
So now this has to be successful. And
Okay.
I keep on telling my husband, well, what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? He's like, no, it will. You can't even say it won't because otherwise it's not
Good
gonna
support
happen.
system
Yeah,
is always
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's always good to have a good positive partner.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that? So you're saying you're married? How old are you, by the way?
26.
Wow, you're so young. I honestly, that's awesome. At 26, you've accomplished quite a bit. Do you feel like you're going to these venues? How do you approach them? What is that process like?
Yeah, how does the presentation start?
Yeah, that's been interesting.
Yeah, I want to know.
Honestly, well, especially for Baracco as an example, I know the hair salon that's next door.
Okay.
Shout out to Top Knot Studio. She does my hair.
There you go. There you go.
Cute.
Maria's amazing. So she had mentioned, hey, this is way back when, there's a coffee shop opening and da-da-da. She could
before.
smell their coffee roasting and she's
Oh,
like, it's
yeah.
so good.
Isn't it so good?
And then when they opened, I loved their coffee. And when I was kind of already scoping out spaces, like, okay, where can I start doing this publicly? So I reached out to them on Instagram actually, because I didn't really know how else to contact them. And yeah, they got back to me. We coordinated. Same thing with Booze Hounds actually. And we went from there. So you never know the power of a DM.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, isn't that?
But I
the
think that's
truth?
how we connected too.
That's how we
So,
connected too. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's why you're here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you never know.
So basically, you stepped out of your comfort zone, just reached out to people, whatever. Have you gotten like a nose to you?
I've had ignored messages.
Oh, like
Okay.
they see it and like
Yeah,
they respond.
yeah.
Okay.
And how do you deal with that type of rejection? Is real. It's
Yeah.
part of the process. How do you deal with it?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, using again Booze Hounds as an example, they read it, and they're such a busy, successful restaurant
Yeah,
though.
of
So I
course.
didn't take it personal. I don't know if it's like somebody that works at the restaurant that's running them or their socials. Like I don't know if it's a
Right.
marketing company. You know, every business does it different, like what meets their needs. So I don't try to take it personal because you just don't know what's happening, especially with social media. So I actually just reached out to them again because I attended one of their events that they had hosted, and that's how I got the idea that maybe they'd be interested in collaboration.
Right.
And then somebody did get back to me. So
It's all fantastic.
you just never know what'll happen from pursuing it. Yeah.
That's good. It's good to understand that sometimes, no's happen more often
It's
than not.
part of the
Absolutely.
process.
It's part of the learning process,
Yeah.
and a lot of people get discouraged. And it's good to know that our listeners can hear somebody successful, knowing that you get a no, but you got to move forward.
Yeah, because art is everyone tells you, oh, half the time you're not going to make it with art, right? Like if someone tells you, oh, I want to be an artist when I grow up, it's like, oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
There's always that inch of doubt. So for all the artists out there, whatever medium you are focused on, keep going, and it doesn't even matter how
Definitely.
old you are.
Definitely, yeah. And art is so subjective. I think that's what's a little bit
Yes.
frustrating about the art field is like
Oh,
you
yeah.
could go to a museum and it's this massive canvas with one little red dot in the middle, and you're like, it's for $1 million. You're like,
Yeah.
I can't fund that.
I've seen those crazy canvases.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's a phrase though, I think it's like, okay, you said you could have done it, but did you?
But did you? Oh,
That's a good
But
one.
did you?
and
So
that's
it's
our new
really-
shirt.
Yeah, did you do?
But
It's
did
taking
you?
that action. It's believing in
awesome.
yourself. It's putting yourself out there. That person
Yeah.
believed in themselves so much to put a massive canvas on the wall with a red dot, and they made it.
And let me ask
So-
you, do you remember that artist who like shredded this?
Banksy.
There you go. It was.
Oh yeah. Banksy shredded his art. I don't know if do you know about that?
I know Banksy, but I don't know if I know what
Yeah,
piece
he
you're
Oh,
shredding.
so there was an online
So funny.
not online. Well, I mean it was a live Banksy like they were selling his art.
Yeah.
And Banksy had prior to that he had said, my art ever sells, I want to destroy it because it's not meant to be sold. It's meant to be art and be viewed, not to be, sold and stuff.
Use as profit.
So what he did is he created this piece. It's called Girl with Balloon, and
yes.
it's very well known. And so he actually, the original painting before he sprayed it on, he put that on a frame. And so no matter where you went in the world, that frame would be always the one. You knew it was that one because it was inside this one specific frame. It was quite thick actually. So they went to go sell it.
Yeah.
And right at the auction, they kind of, sell it for $7.8 million or something like that. And right when it does that, Banksy was there somewhere. Nobody knows him, right? So he was there somewhere, and he pressed the button, and the shredder goes, and inside the frame goes the shredder, and it just starts going.
Oh my gosh!
And it gets stuck halfway there. It gets stuck, and so people are like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" They take it down,
and it was live.
And unfortunately, Banksy, if you're listening, unfortunately,
subscribe.
Please, because it almost got shredded, but it didn't. It actually like tripled in value.
Yeah.
Because he put that. So then he posted a video, or somebody did, of him building it from day one and saying, "Yeah, I was always intended for this to shred," and it just got stuck. So now that thing is worth so much more. And I think now that frame and that art is inside a bigger frame. It's just ridiculous.
See, there you go.
So yeah, shred your art, guys.
Yeah, shred it.
Yeah, shred it. Yeah. Be ready to give it up. So anyways, wow, that took a minute.
No, that's a good one. It's
an interesting story. Go check it out.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting one. So now you live here in the Valley. How long have you been in the Valley for?
5 years now.
5 years. Okay. And so you've been married the whole time you've been here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, got it. Do you a lot of people here in the Valley always tell us that they want to leave the Valley.
Yes.
You came to the Valley. I also came to the Valley a few years ago. Is your plan to stick around here? Or are you planning to head on back?
No, staying here. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I moved here is being married, and my husband has his own business, so it didn't really make sense to move. He's well established here, and he grew up here. His family's here, and my family's really not that far away. It's only an hour.
It's only an hour and a half. Yeah. They're good.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here. I feel like obviously people come here during the season for a reason. I mean, during the summer after we get past
you deal with that,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, now I see why I live here. It's so nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you get art inspiration here in the Coachella Valley?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I love the mountains. I love the palm trees. I love the cactus. I actually recently, when I was doing the classes on Zoom, a lot of times when I would host those classes, I would just ask the host, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And they would usually find a picture online, honestly, and we would just kind of do that same thing.
So when you are with people, do you already have a topic of something that they're gonna paint?
Yes.
Draw? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you host a private event, I have a whole catalog on my website of paintings to choose from, and then if there's something that they just absolutely want to do, sometimes we collaborate on a new piece, but I do like to keep those desert-centered paintings at my forefront. Like I have a couple of really popular cactus paintings, and I think when people do come to the desert, or if they are from the desert, it's really fun to have something that represents where you live, and it's just
beautiful.
It's just cute. Yeah.
I love that. All right, guys. Well, let's go into our last commercial. When we come back, let's hear about the future and where you're going. All right, cut to it. This commercial spot could be yours. The New Mindset of the Coachella Valley is broadcast throughout Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and all your favorite podcast stations. For more information, don't forget to reach us at The New Mindset OTCV on Instagram or The New Mindset OTCV at gmail.com.
And now we're back.
All right, Danielle, we've heard about your past growing up away from the Valley. We heard about you being in the Valley. Now let's talk about where you're going and what's your direction, where are you going? So what's the next month spells like to you? We're going towards our end of the year for 2023, beginning of 2024. What do you have planned? What's coming up for you?
So I got a really exciting opportunity actually to be an after-school art program teacher at Horizon School. I haven't started yet, so that's at the end of this month. Yeah.
Yay!
So that'll be cool. I feel like until it starts, so it doesn't feel real. So
right, yeah.
But I have that coming up, and then just a few private events. I keep on mentioning I have the event at Booze Hounds, but that's next week. So hopefully more public collaborations, and then hopefully more private events. Working on my own projects. Last night actually, I also posted on my Instagram. I created a whole new commission project tab on my on my website. So I do even like painted champagne bottles or things like that, especially for like gift giving and special events. It's like
that's
little
perfect.
projects.
It's really good for like the holiday season, right?
Yes.
And some people actually, there's businesses that love their logos. I've started to notice that businesses like their logos also drawn or like painted sometimes.
Yes.
Like
that's really
especially,
neat.
I feel like end of the year staff appreciation, like team building activities. That's also like what I try to center my classes on. So
that is really
we'll
neat.
So you will become an art teacher for what level of education?
One class a week is supposed to be with elementary kids, and then one class a week is supposed to be with middle.
Middle school.
Wow, you're gonna have your hands full.
Yeah. I'm very thankful they said that a staff member will always be with me.
But in a good way, because I feel like there's not enough art and creative classes for kids nowadays. With all
Which is funny because here in the Valley, we seem to be growing into an art-driven city.
Oh, well, it is.
You know?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
every time we talk to somebody about it, we always hear the whole, well, this is more artsy than
Oh, definitely.
Like,
I mean,
that's
there's
so
murals
cool.
everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to paint a mural.
You know what?
Ooh,
You
okay,
know
go.
what?
Now let's hear it. Let's
Actually,
hear it.
this week too is I have a very busy week.
Wow.
Starting tomorrow, actually, I'm gonna start my first mural, which is super exciting.
Where are we gonna find it?
A friend of mine is a hairstylist. She's in Cherry Valley, and so
Okay.
I'm gonna be going out there to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't turn out terrible.
I know you're gonna be sending your.
It'll be one red dot in the middle of your wall.
Yeah, and then you'll shred it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you're gonna be sending pictures of that when it's completed
Yes,
from Mindset,
please,
so
yeah.
our people can see it.
Yeah, and if it
Okay?
turns out great, hopefully that could also tap me into
There's
the
no if.
murals.
Everything's gonna be great when
no
you
if,
do
no
it.
if. But when that's done, I would love to tap into the mural scene here
gotcha.
because I mean,
Oh,
people
yeah.
like you said are very artsy, and people
Yeah.
with their beautiful properties, even their Airbnbs, everybody wants something
yeah.
fun and like a pop a little Palm
100%.
Springs color. So hopefully we could get into that.
Well, this has been a great interview.
Yes, it has.
It's been wow. We're like running into it.
Yeah.
So, Danielle, last off, where can people find you?
People could find me on Instagram at brushhour.paintclasses because brush hour is already taken.
Oh no!
brushhour.paintclasses 1H. You could also find me on my website, brushhourpaintclasses.com. If you want to join a class, you could, connect through there or my website.
And when you have classes, is there? Did you just post them on your Instagram and then
Yes.
go from there?
Yeah,
Did those-
public events I'll always be posting. I also have a tab on my website for that as well. But again, my goal is to do more private events. So if you want to throw an event with your family, friends, I have an inquiry sheet that you could fill out and we'll connect and get that booked for you.
And then if you could help us with your words of wisdom, and what I mean by words of wisdom is like, what is a quote or something that has encouraged you to kind of pursue what you're doing that somebody told you, gave you? What's that thing that comes to mind when you're like, when you want to give up, but you don't? What is it? What stops you? Who told you? What is that?
You don't want to give up. Like you just have to do it. You can't say how you're mentioning if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen, and it will happen. So don't second guess it. Just go for it.
There you
Follow
go.
that itch.
Yeah, follow that itch. Scratch that itch.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. Is there any other message you have for anybody out there listening, wanting to pursue this?
I would definitely say if you are desiring the passion to create a small business, I think what hangs most people up is the paperwork. Don't let the paperwork scare you because people, I think we're not taught in school how to start a small business. We're not taught in school those steps.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Google tells you everything. There's also lots of people out there that will be happy to guide you and help you create your business. So don't let that stop you from pursuing that dream because I know that's sometimes a hang up for people.
Awesome. Well, guys, as we log off, we do want to tell you that our YouTube channel is also going to be showing some shorts, a little bit of behind the scenes. And you're going to be able to find, we're going to ask Danielle the top 3 tips for better painting. And if you want to know what that is, you're going to have to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere you can find social media sites. You're probably going to be there. Any other message, Miss Stephanie?
No, it's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so
you guys
much
for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being our guest.
Well, thanks again, guys, and don't forget to follow us on all of those sites. The New Mindset OCTV, the New Mindset OCTV at gmail.com is how you can reach us. If you would like to take a seat at this couch, send us an email. Let us know why you think you'd be here, and don't forget we have other channels we can also support you with. Thank you for your time and have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.